Most mechanics will never tell you this, but over 60% of engine failures happen because drivers used the wrong oil or went too long between changes. Half the synthetic oils on store shelves are nothing more than overpriced conventional oil with fancy marketing. They will not protect your engine when it matters most. We will list the ones that actually do. Let's get to it. Number 9, Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic. This one surprises people because Valvoline is not always mentioned in the same breath as the premium brands. But their advanced full synthetic formula is legit. It uses a blend of synthetic base stocks and has a solid additive package that includes detergents, anti-wear agents, and friction modifiers. I have used this in daily driver sedans, trucks, and even some performance cars. It holds up well under normal driving conditions and meets all the current API and ILSAC standards. The price point is reasonable. You are not paying for fancy marketing or celebrity endorsements. You are paying for oil that does its job. I ran this in my work truck for over 100,000 miles. I changed it every 7,000 miles. The engine stayed clean. No sludge, no excessive wear. When I finally pulled the valve cover to replace a gasket, everything inside looked like new. That is what good oil does. It protects without drama. What I like about Valvoline Advanced is that it is widely available. You can find it at Walmart, AutoZone, O'Reilly, pretty much anywhere. That means you are never stuck looking for your preferred oil when you need it. Availability matters. I have had customers who swore by boutique oils that were only sold at specialty shops. Great, until they are on a road trip and need to add a quart. Then they are stuck using whatever gas station oil they can find, which defeats the purpose of using premium oil in the first place. Valvoline Advanced gives you quality and convenience. It is a smart choice for regular drivers who want protection without hassle. Number 8, Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. Pennzoil has been around forever, and their Platinum line is one of their better products. It is made from natural gas using a gas-to-liquids process, which gives it a very pure base stock. That purity translates to better performance. Lower volatility means less oil consumption. Better cold flow means easier starts in winter. And the additive package is designed to fight sludge and deposits. I have seen engines run on Pennzoil Platinum for 200,000 miles with zero issues. One customer had a Honda Accord with the 4-cylinder engine. He used Pennzoil Platinum exclusively and changed it every 10,000 miles. At 220,000 miles, the engine still ran smooth as silk. A compression test showed all cylinders within spec. No leaks, no burning oil. That is the kind of longevity you want. Pennzoil Platinum is widely available, reasonably priced, and backed by a company that has been making oil for over a century. It is a solid choice for most vehicles. The gas-to-liquids process is actually pretty interesting. Instead of starting with crude oil, they start with natural gas. They convert it into a liquid-based stock that is almost pure. No sulfur, no aromatics, no impurities. Just clean, uniform molecules that lubricate extremely well. This process has been used in Europe for years, but Pennzoil brought it to North America. The result is an oil that behaves more like a true synthetic than a refined petroleum product. I have done oil analysis on Pennzoil Platinum, and the numbers are impressive. Low wear metals, stable viscosity, high remaining useful life even at 8,000 or 9,000 miles. This is not just marketing, this is measurable performance. Number 7, Castrol Edge Full Synthetic. Castrol Edge uses what they call fluid titanium technology. I know it sounds like marketing nonsense, but here's the thing. The technology actually works. Under extreme pressure, the titanium-based additives create a strong film that prevents metal-to-metal contact. I have seen this oil perform in high-stress applications like turbocharged engines, high-revving sports cars, and heavy towing. One of my customers runs a landscaping business. He has a fleet of trucks that tow trailers loaded with equipment every day. He switched to Castrol Edge after blowing through cheaper oils every 3,000 miles. With Castrol Edge, he gets 8,000 miles per change with no issues. The engines run cooler, the oil stays cleaner, and he is not rebuilding engines every 100,000 miles anymore. Castrol Edge is not the cheapest oil on the shelf, but it earns its price tag with real-world performance. The titanium additive in Castrol Edge is designed to change structure under pressure. When metal surfaces come close together, the pressure activates the titanium compounds. They form a protective layer that is incredibly strong and slippery. This happens at the molecular level, in the tiny gaps between moving parts. It is especially useful in direct injection engines, which run higher cylinder pressures than port-injected engines. Higher pressure means more stress on bearings, piston rings, and valve train components. Castrol Edge handles that stress better than most oils. I have used it in German cars, American trucks, and Japanese sports cars. It performs well across the board. If you appreciate the value provided, consider leaving a like. Number 6. Rotella T6 Full Synthetic. Now this one is technically a diesel oil, but hear me out. Rotella T6 has a cult following among gasoline engine owners, especially those with older vehicles or flat tappet camshafts. Why? Because it has higher levels of zinc dialkylethiophosphate, ZDDP, which is an anti-wear additive. Modern gasoline engine oils have reduced ZDDP levels to protect catalytic converters. But older engines with flat tappet cams need that extra protection, or the cam lobes will wear down. I have used Rotella T6 in classic muscle cars, vintage trucks, and even some newer vehicles that see hard use. It is thick, it is tough, and it does not break down under heat. One guy I know runs it in his Dodge Ram with the Cummins diesel engine. Over 400,000 miles and counting. No engine work, just regular oil changes with Rotella T6. If you have an older vehicle or you want maximum protection, this oil delivers. Let me explain why ZDDP matters. In older engines, the camshaft lobes ride directly on lifters or followers. There is no roller bearing, just metal sliding on metal under tremendous pressure. ZDDP forms a sacrificial layer that prevents wear. As the cam lobe presses against the lifter, the ZDDP layer gets scraped off. But it keeps reforming as long as there is ZDDP in the oil. Without enough ZDDP, the cam lobes wear flat. Once that happens, the valves do not open as far. Power drops. The engine runs rough. Eventually, the cam is so worn that it needs to be replaced. That is a major repair. Heads have to come off. Timing chains or belts have to be removed. It is expensive and time-consuming, all because the oil did not have enough ZDDP. Modern oils reduced ZDDP because it can poison catalytic converters over time. But if you have an engine from before the 1990s, you need that ZDDP. Rotella T6 has it. Number 5. Liqui Moly Leichtlauf High-Tech Full Synthetic. If you have never heard of Liqui Moly, you are missing out. This is a German company that makes some of the best lubricants in the world. Their Leichtlauf line is engineered for European engines, which tend to run hotter and have tighter tolerances than American engines. But that means it works even better in domestic vehicles. I have used Liqui Moly in BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Volkswagen vehicles. The oil stays clean longer. The engines run quieter, and the fuel economy improves slightly because the friction modifiers actually work. One customer brought in a BMW with a turbo that was starting to whine. We changed the oil to Liqui Moly and the whine disappeared. The old oil had broken down and was not lubricating the turbo bearings properly. Liqui Moly is more expensive than most oils, but if you want Euro car quality in any engine, this is it. European engines are a different beast. They rev higher, run hotter, and demand more from their oil. German automakers in particular are very strict about oil specifications. They have their own approval systems beyond just API ratings. BMW has long life certifications. Mercedes has their MB approval system. Volkswagen has their VW specifications. These are not just marketing labels. They represent rigorous testing that goes beyond what API requires. Liqui Moly meets or exceeds most of these European specs, which is why it is so popular overseas. When you bring that technology to an American engine, you get performance that exceeds what the engine actually needs. That is not a bad thing. It means extra protection and extra margin for error. Number 4. Redline Full Synthetic Oil. Redline is the oil for serious enthusiasts. Race teams use it. Track day junkies swear by it. And for good reason. This is a full ester-based synthetic. No Group 3 pretenders here. Pure Group 5 esters resist breakdown even under the most extreme conditions. I have personally used Redline in turbocharged cars, supercharged engines, and naturally aspirated performance builds. It handles heat better than anything else I have tested. Oil temperatures that would turn other synthetics into burnt coffee leave Redline barely affected. The downside is the price. Redline costs about twice as much as mainstream synthetics. But if you are building a high horsepower engine or tracking your car regularly, it is worth every penny. One friend runs a built Subaru WRX with over 500 horsepower. He tried cheaper oils and they broke down after a few hard pulls. He switched to Redline and has not had a single issue in 3 years of abuse. Ester-based oils have properties that polyalpha-olefin oils cannot match. Esters stick to metal surfaces even when the engine is off. That means better protection during cold starts. They handle higher temperatures without oxidizing. They have natural detergent properties that keep engines clean. They also mix well with other additives, which allows oil companies to create more effective additive packages. The downside is cost. Esters are expensive to produce. But for racing applications or high-performance street cars, the cost is justified. I have seen oil temperatures over 300 degrees Fahrenheit in tracked cars. Most oils would be destroyed at that temperature. Redline keeps working. That is the difference between finishing a race and blowing an engine. Number 3. Amsoil Signature Series Full Synthetic. Amsoil has been making synthetic oil since the 1970s, long before it was cool. Their Signature Series is one of the most advanced oils you can buy. It uses PAO and ester-based stocks with a premium additive package. Amsoil claims you can go 25,000 miles between changes with this oil. I would not push it that far, but I have seen it go 15,000 miles in normal driving without issue. Oil analysis reports come back clean. Total base number stays strong. Viscosity remains stable. Wear metals are minimal. That kind of performance is rare. I use Amsoil in my personal vehicles because I know it will protect the engine no matter what I throw at it. Cold starts in winter, towing in summer, high revolutions per minute pulls on the highway. Amsoil handles it all. It is not cheap, but when you factor in extended drain intervals, the cost per mile is actually competitive. What sets Amsoil apart is their commitment to extended drain intervals. They do not just claim their oil lasts longer, they actually test it. They run engines for 25,000 miles on the same oil, then tear them down and inspect them. They do oil analysis throughout the test. They measure wear, check for deposits, and verify that the oil still meets specifications at the end. Most oil companies do not do this level of testing. They rely on industry standards and call it a day. Amsoil goes further. That is why they can confidently recommend drain intervals that would make other companies nervous. I have personally run Amsoil for 12,000 miles in mixed driving, sent a sample for analysis, and had it come back with a recommendation that I could safely go another 3,000 miles. The oil still had plenty of life left. Number 2. Mobil 1 Extended Performance Full Synthetic. Mobil 1 has been the gold standard for synthetic oil for decades. Their extended performance line takes it even further. This oil is designed to last up to 15,000 miles or 1 year, whichever comes first. And it actually delivers on that promise. I have tested used oil samples from engines running Mobil 1 Extended Performance at 12,000 miles. The oil still had plenty of life left. No breakdown, no sludge, no excessive wear. Mobil 1 uses a blend of PAO and Group 3 Plus base stocks with an advanced additive system. It flows well in cold weather, resists thermal breakdown and heat, and keeps engines clean. I have seen engines with 300,000 miles that ran nothing but Mobil 1. They looked like they had half that mileage inside. Clean valve covers, clean oil passages, minimal varnish or deposits. That is what decades of proven performance looks like. Mobil 1 is widely available, competitively priced, and backed by one of the largest oil companies in the world. It is a safe bet for any vehicle. Mobil 1 has a racing heritage that goes back decades. They have lubricated Formula 1 engines, NASCAR engines, and endurance racing engines. They know what it takes to protect engines under the most brutal conditions imaginable. That technology trickles down to their consumer products. When you buy Mobil 1 Extended Performance, you are getting oil that benefits from millions of dollars in racing research and development. The additives are proven. The base stocks are top quality. The manufacturing process is tightly controlled. This is not some fly-by-night operation mixing oil in a shed. This is ExxonMobil, one of the largest and most sophisticated oil companies on the planet. They have the resources to make great oil, and they do. And now, the #1 synthetic oil that I recommend above all others. Mobil 1 Annual Protection Full Synthetic. This is the newest offering from Mobil 1, and it is a game changer. This oil is guaranteed for 20,000 miles or 1 year of protection. That is double what most synthetics offer. How do they do it? Advanced base stocks, a fortified additive package, and years of research and development. I have been testing this oil in multiple vehicles over the past year. So far, it has exceeded every expectation. At 15,000 miles, the oil still looked relatively clean. At 18,000 miles, an oil analysis showed it still had protective capacity. The total base number was strong. Viscosity was stable. Wear metals were within acceptable limits. This is oil that keeps working long after others quit. For drivers who hate frequent oil changes or want maximum protection, Mobil 1 Annual Protection is the answer. It costs more upfront, but when you factor in fewer oil changes per year, the cost savings are real. Plus, you get peace of mind knowing your engine is protected for an entire year or 20,000 miles.